A quick disclaimer, because I'm a moron and I forgot to put this in before I started the editing, but all the beats for this video are going to be provided by E-Chains. E-Chains, thanks, man. Link in the description. Check out his latest bop. Thanks, E-Chains. Oh, I'm inside. I forgot, I don't need this. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're all fucked. So I don't know if you guys have heard about the executive order that our our president of the United States has declared. Like, I literally can't believe that this is like a scene out of that movie Idiocracy. But he's taking leftover funds from the CARES Act, right? You guys remember the CARES Act? Passed back in March, literally unanimously by Republicans and Democrats. There were literally no nays. He's taking leftover funds from that to make it look like he's doing something. He signed an executive order. What does that executive order say? Basically, the unemployment benefits extension negotiations on Capitol Hill were really making headway. Nancy Pelosi stood strong, and Mitch McConnell was even quoted saying, "I support this if Donald Trump will support it." But yeah, that didn't fucking happen. Instead of that happening, what he did was he made it so that they would take leftover money from the CARES Act, which isn't that much money, and he would allocate it to the unemployment benefits, right? So there's three problems with this. Number one is implementing this plan. Trump was quoted saying that people would be getting this money as soon as August 1st. Okay, that's lie number one. Experts say at earliest September to October. Lie number two was that he would extend for $300 a week for the federal unemployment benefits, and whatever state you're in would kick the bill for the other 25%. There's only one problem there, Donald. The states are fucking broke. I don't know if you've realized this, but we are strapped for cash as a state. I mean, as Alabamians, New Yorkians, whatever. There's literally no money in the budget for this. And literally every single state has said, no, we're not gonna give $100. So even if that didn't happen, you'd still be like, hey, I got $300. There's a catch. There's a catch. The catch is that if you are receiving less than $100 in unemployment, like me, I literally get $83 a week from my state, then you're fucked. You get nothing. You don't get anything. If you get over $100, like my lovely partner Winda, then good for you. You get your $275 from your state, as well as the $300. The only thing is that experts have estimated that generously, conservatively, that this money will last 3 weeks, 4 weeks maximum. So where does that leave the American people? A shit creek without a paddle? That's a euphemism, because literally there are 38 million unemployed people right now, and that we have been waiting since May, since the House of Representatives have passed this bill called the HEROES Act, which would have extended the $600 a week until January 2021, would have bailed out the USPS because, we really need our mail, especially whenever they are delivering medications, life-saving medications, which don't even get me started on the prices of insulin. But no, Trump wanted to bail out the airport industry, the cruise ship industry. Why? Why is that? Doesn't Trump have a stake in that? Oh, that's right. He definitely does. He has a stake because he owns fucking hotels all over the world. He is benefiting from this. How is this not a conflict of interest? How is there not a revolution occurring in the states? And I'll tell you why. It's because the police has been militarized. Ever since the 80s, they've been tough on crime. And gosh darn it, that just means throwing a bunch of colored people in jail. Disproportionately. I mean, ridiculously. It's 2.2 million people incarcerated. We have 330 million people in America as a population, and yet we house over 28% of the world's inmates, 76% of which are non-violent drug offenders. But I digress. What I really wanted to talk about was this right here. Today, after all the negotiations and all the terrible things that Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell have compromised against, guess what? This is great. They went on fucking vacation. They said, you know what? We've worked really hard, you guys. We need a break. Oh, you need a break. What about the 38 million unemployed Americans that needed a fucking break? If you're giving people $600 a week and saying that that's enough to live on, then why is it that if you work 40 hours a week at minimum wage, you don't even make that much? I don't fucking get it. The cognitive dissonance is strong with this one, and the Republican Party has really just weaseled their way into the mindset of the uninformed, the misinformed, the uneducated, and the people who just don't give a fuck. I'm turning into one of those people, but really mainly old white dudes, the incumbents, the local elections, right? Because presidential elections don't matter. We saw that in 2016 when Hillary Clinton got 3.8 million more of the popular vote, and yet she still lost. Why is that, you say? Oh, the Electoral College. And as long as the Electoral College is skewed towards Republicans winning, they will never want to reform it. But I assure you, as soon as that happens, they will declare tyranny and treason, and there'll be riots in the streets. Literally. Riots in the streets. You think that shit's bad now with the Black Lives Matter and the police brutality protests? Wait until you take away the one thing that's keeping them sane, that's keeping a roof over their head, that's keeping food in their stomach. Hungry people do desperate things. And it's a scary, scary world. Especially when you live in a country where 1 in 4 Americans are armed. I'm just saying that we are fucked. There are the Republicans, and I'm not pointing fingers, the Democrats too. They're going on break until Labor Day, which is a whole fucking month away, just in case you need to check your calendar. You know, they've worked hard, you know. They deserve a break because, you know, they say that Americans just need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and, you know, a little elbow grease and work harder, but yet they fucking work 138 days out of the year. How is that a thing? Why is it that senators who are elected into office leave millionaires? How is it that Citizens United, a bill passed in 2010 that states that any corporation, entity, or individual, i.e. a Chinese billionaire, could come to America, donate X amount of dollars to X candidate without saying where that money came from and where it's going? How the fuck is this legal? How the fuck are they getting away with it? You know why? Because we have Fox News, we have Breitbart, we have Yellowhammer, we have all these misinformation news sites misinforming the public and getting them to vote against their own best interest. Now, that is something that I have to applaud the Republicans on, because I live in a red state and I see people who are on SNAP benefits, TARP benefits, Social Security, and they need it. And yet they vote Republican every single time. They are voting people into office that are actively trying to cut funding to the very thing that is keeping their survival afloat. It's genius, really. I mean, hats off to you, sir, because that is just fucking ridiculous. And the only thing that I think that will change this is a revolution. We need to stand up. We need to take a stand, just like the people in Oregon that the media is not covering. They've been protesting for over 80 days straight. They released the National Guard to disperse the protesters, i.e. beat the living fuck out of them and killing some of them. But you know what, man? It doesn't matter, because the media, the lamestream media, reports very little on these issues. They don't care. It's not popular to talk about things like this, apparently. But the truth of the matter is that with social media on the rise, and Twitter and Instagram and your Snapchats, we are seeing more and more of these pockets of tyranny, pockets of indiscretions, pockets of police brutality. That's the whole reason why President Trump wanted to ban the app TikTok. Yes, that was part of the executive order too, was to ban TikTok, because there were too many users recording and getting traction of police actively beating the living shit out of peaceful sit-ins. I don't have any words. It's idiocracy, man. I don't understand. I mean, I am taking a risk making this video because God knows that I am not on the right side of the law, but I am trying my best. But Jesus fucking Christ, man. How much longer will this go on? And then, you know, you get into the two-party system and the flaws between it. And then, you know, you have a third party that supposedly takes away from the votes. It's so corrupt, so fucked. Hang on. What we need to do is rise up and start a revolution. Because in Europe and other countries, the people control the parliament. Parliament is afraid of the people because the officers aren't fucking armed over there. But here, we fear leaving our apartment to go get a glass of milk. A glass of milk, really, Drew? We fear to get some Skittles and an Arizona tea, especially if you just happen to be of a certain skin color. I'm talking about black people. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know anything about what it's like to be black in America, but all I know is that but the executive order is not constitutional. It is not going to hold up. And the thing is that TikTok's US employees actually are planning to sue Trump administration over this EO because it is unconstitutional. There's literally no way that this can be legally binding. There is no way that this can hold up, and there's no way that they can implement this. You think you're getting $300? You're not, man. You're not. You're not going to see a dime. All you have to count on is your state. That's why the presidential elections don't matter. What matters is the midterms, who we elect to represent us, right? But nobody fucking shows up to the midterms, do they? Because we only care about every 4 years whenever we elect our president. But we don't elect anybody. It's already fucking done by the time we put in our ballots, because the Electoral College... Who is the Electoral College, actually, anyway? Let me ask Siri. Hey, Siri, who the fuck is the Electoral College?
The Electoral College is a body of electors established by the United States Constitution, which states preserves the two-party system and makes the electoral outcome appear more legitimate than that of a nationwide popular vote. I.e., Republicans have their electors, Democrats have theirs, and whoever is in power gets the power of the Electoral College.
Thanks, Siri. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Daddy.
The fact of the matter is, the country is burning. There's no end in sight. We are about to pass the 165,000 deaths. A 9/11 is happening every 2 days. And people are just going on business as usual. I don't fucking get it, dude. I'm 31 years old. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. I mean, I may still be young to some of you people, and I may be a fucking dinosaur to most of my viewers. And a lot of you people might not even care about politics, but I promise you, you really, really need to start caring. The apathy and the voter disenfranchisement is what is killing the process. You want to be one of those edgelords that say, oh, I don't vote because it doesn't matter. It does matter. Do you know that fucking less than 100 years ago, women just got the right to vote? And I see girls saying, oh, I'm not going to vote. Really? You're not going to practice your right to vote? Oh, okay. I mean, literally, dude, back in the 60s, black people, they had the right to vote after Emancipation Proclamation, and then during the Jim Crow era, it was taken away. And now these same people say, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about politics. I don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do. And they're partially right. They are going to do what they're going to do. But God damn it, if we scream loud enough, and if we have a coherent message, I promise you, we will be heard. We will be heard. My blood pressure is going through the fucking roof. I'll put on this fucking tie. I'm still in my undies. Like, literally. So, whatever, man. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. And honestly, my apathy is going through the roof. My main priority is putting food on the table. And I honestly don't know how the fuck I'm going to pay rent. And the whole federal moratorium on evictions that Trump put into the executive order, it's not going to stand. You still have landlords evicting their tenants, calling the police on them, and threatening them with legal action. There's this case out in Arizona. I don't know the woman's name off the top of my head, but she was falling behind on rent, and because of the 3-month moratorium passed back in March, or was it May, said that she didn't have to pay rent for 3 months because times are hard, right? Well, those 3 months are up, and now not only does she have to pay the 3 months rent, but she also has to pay this month's rent as well, all at the same time. How does that help anybody? How does it help people bailing out the cruise ship industry, the airline industry, which has been failing, by the way, since the mid-90s. They have not turned a profit in years. They're losing money. And I just don't understand. I guess maybe I'm just not old enough. Maybe I haven't seen enough shit. I know a lot of older people will say, oh, you know, wait till you're older, your views will change. I really don't fucking think so, Ethel. And you know what? You can fucking suck it because you're not wearing a mask inside. And man, let me tell you, that really pisses me off too. But that's a whole thing on a different story. I'm rambling now. If we can get this video to 2 likes, I will release my nudes. I'm going to. Gonna do it. Gonna do it! Alright. I love you guys. I don't know. Do I? By the way, I just want to say thank you to E-Chains with a Z for providing the beats to this video. E-Chains, you're awesome, man. I'm going to be using all your tunes in the future. Go and check him out. Show him some love. Get this cat to 100 subs. He deserves it. And we'll see you guys on the flip side.